Welcome to Family Meeting, the podcast where we get shit done. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Jessie.
All right, let's begin. Sorry, I'm trying to get my stuff in order. I didn't have my notebook ready.
Come on.
That's not professional at all.
Gotta come prepared.
I know. All right. So today, last week was a very you episode, which was great. I feel like it actually helped.
It so helped.
We'll see if this.
I have felt so much better this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. People. Today, on the other hand, I've been having issues this week. And so I wanted to talk about the concept of leaving baggage at the door, specifically in terms of me. It's like leaving my work at work, because I feel, just I guess a little bit of background, I have a hard time not taking things personally at work, which I'm sure you agree with. And like I have a hard time like leaving that kind of like stress there. I tend to bring it home with me. I also, I consult and like freelance on the side, and I tend to let that creep into my everyday. And like if something goes wrong with it, or if something like I can't get something done in time, I get like really upset about it. If I can't, like if I'm trying to do work on the road on like the way to work, because I take the bus. My Wi-Fi hotspot's not working. I get really thrown off, and it throws off my entire day because I can't like catch up or whatever. Which I technically can if I, use my lunch more wisely or something. But I just have a hard time letting that go. And then I come home all pissy and upset. So I don't know. I don't know if I have a solution for it or an idea how to help it. That's why, I think it's a good idea that we talk about it. You had mentioned that maybe it's good to get it out for me, and I agree. So maybe we can come to some kind of
And I think it goes both ways. So I think there's a lot of people out there that bring their work home.
Yeah.
And that's fairly common, pretty normal. You adjusted your mic. Now I want to adjust mine. But I think it goes the other way as well, that some people can take a stress that's going on in their life, or just, personal things to work.
Yeah.
And I know, like, as an actress, like, that was something that not I personally dealt with, but I saw a lot of, especially because there's a lot of the people in the acting industry that are very, I don't know,
emotional.
I was going to say dramatic. And that do bring their personal life into their work. And there just really has to be that separation. So it goes both ways, bringing it into the home and bringing it into work. For you, I don't think you do bring, if we have an argument in the morning, it totally affects your day at work.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not unfortunately, but I'm really good at like separating and like letting it and letting, go of, I don't know, compartmentalizing, however you say that word, my work, my emotions, my home life,
Yeah. I know I get really, if we argue in the morning, I like text you. Like,
yeah.
We okay? I just can't seem to not let it get me down.
Yeah. So in your specific situation, you're bringing work home.
Yeah. I mean, at least bringing like the feelings of
the
like,
stress.
The stress of
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Not the actual like doing of things. Something I noticed that I thought, might be a good point to bring up is that you're a salaried person. So you're not, working hourly. So I feel like it is easier for hourly employees they still do bring work home for sure, but it's a little bit easier for them to turn off the second they, punch out of the time clock.
It's like the overtime excuse, be like, well, if you want me to clock back in.
Right.
And then their boss usually goes, no, just let it wait till Monday.
Right. But for you, it's something that, if there's a campaign that needs a little bit of tweaking, you could be doing that on a Saturday, like last minute or,
that's true.
Late.
My boss has no qualms about texting me about last minute things.
So speaking of text, that's something that I brought up the other day, is that you have some really good friends at work,
Mhm.
and you guys are in a group text, and some of it's playful, some of it's work, some of it's whatever, but it'll be going on at 9 o'clock on a Friday or 7 o'clock on a Monday or over the weekend. So that was something that I think that even if we're trying to separate your work and your home,
Mhm.
that would automatically like bring it back up if you're getting those text messages.
So are you saying like I should like, or maybe if they like text like anything about work, should like ignore it or say like no work talk outside of work?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to help you like figure it out, maybe, or I mean, they're your friends, so obviously you want to still be friendly with them.
Yeah.
Um, and it's good to have work friends because it helps you get through the day.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. Like I get the feeling that that some of it's work related, but it's not work related. Like
Right.
yeah. And I think that's what's getting you, is that you're still thinking about work. It's still in your mind after hours.
Yeah. That's true. I think part of it is like then I'm terrible at coming up with like things to okay, buddy, your son wants up.
Wait, I'll get him.
I want to I still want to like text my friends, you know, but it's hard to like sometimes figure out other topics when the commonality is work. I'm sure there's things, but I'm just not good at that, you know? I guess if that makes any sense.
Right. So then just
I guess one
say,
of them is really good at that.
right. But then just say, like, hey, guys, thank you so much. But, you know, I'm away, or I'm enjoying my weekend,
Mhm.
or, you know, maybe I mean, I don't know how comfortable you would be in having a conversation with them and saying, I need to stop taking work home
Yeah.
along those lines, and say,
I guess I just don't want to seem like I'm not going to be their friend or something. But yeah, I mean, that's true. I should worry about work. Do not bark. I know. There's a delivery probably. We sort of beep from Amazon. I'm assuming dropping off packages somewhere. Not for us though. But yeah, so I guess that's the only thing that like makes me nervous. I don't want to just shut off communication with people that I
Mhm.
genuinely like. But at
Right.
least a couple of them are definitely like I feel like have the real potential. Hey, quiet to be outside of work,
Mhm.
friends for sure. That's the thing.
Yeah. I think.
Maybe until I bridge that gap and actually like hang out, like
Mhm.
we all hang out or something like brunch or
Mhm.
somehow whatever. Then it'll be easier. Right now it's pretty much like
Yeah.
separate worlds. I have them at work and my other friends elsewhere. Quiet. Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Our poodle is a little monster.
She is.
That's fine. Look, hey, you want to be on the show? Come here. Be sitting in. Come here. She's standing on the couch right now. It's so adorable. She's like a little queen. Come here.
Sure.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's the only thing is that like I'm trying to figure out like part of it is trying to figure out like how do you leave work at home without like shutting people out or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think being honest, and I, I don't know. I think it gets hard because, you're practically a year in,
Yeah.
you know. So it would have been easier to set these boundaries earlier.
Mhm.
So I think knowing now that you have the tendency to that was so gross. Knowing now
Like
that you
that's
have
not
this
me. We can hear our Yorkie lick his lips into the mic. Sorry, I just want to clarify.
um knowing now that you bring work home, I think wherever you go from here, you need to know that you need to set boundaries earlier.
Yeah.
And like, especially with your boss,
Yeah, I think that's the one that really gets me.
Hmm.
It's not so much my friends at work because, like I said, they do feel like more than work friends for the
Hmm.
most part, but like definitely my boss. I should have never opened up that line of
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah.
Um, although I don't know if I did. I don't know if it was him or me, but like I should have
But
shut it
either way,
down another
yeah.
way. Yeah.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's just the only thing is that like my day will be going good, and then I'll like have like a text from. I have a couple bosses technically, so I'll
Hmm.
have a text from like one of them, be like, "Hey." Although I did set one of my freelancing nights at home, at least the negative parts at work, but it's hard when it's so much of my day.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Is that like especially Monday through Friday, working in some capacity is like more than half of my like waking hours.
Hmm.
Actually, it's like probably around 12 hours of my day is
Hmm.
taken up with doing something for a job, which is literally half of the day. So
Right. But there's many people in that same situation that, have 16-hour days, or you know what I
mhm.
mean, that can still like leave their work at home. I think we've kind of discussed this a little bit. A lot of it has to do with your mindset,
Yeah,
in that some days you're going into work hating it, or you're always thinking that way, that it's, oh, half of my day is going towards this.
mhm.
And I don't think that that's like helping you mentally.
Right. Yeah, probably not. I mean, I can work on that. I also, just going back to the text thing real quick
Hmm.
too. Truth be told, that group text all but died at this point. One of the people left the office,
Right. But
and so now it's just like not. So that actually might just end up dissipating on its own.
yeah.
And then if anyone wants to like talk on a friend level, we just text each other
Hmm.
directly, which at times happens. It's not like as active as say with Juicy, but I've also been friends with him for like over 10 years. But
Right.
like
Right.
so I think it's naturally kind of working itself out.
Hmm.
Um, Hopefully between like that kind of stuff and like my boss texting me less and me being more proactive in general, it'll work itself out. I mean, I'm helping work it out, but in like it'll reach a I guess a logical conclusion.
How is your boss going to text you less?
Well, he hasn't been doing it as much
Oh,
lately,
okay. Okay. Got it.
so
Got it.
I'm hoping that that's a trend.
Hmm.
Um, hopefully, because not full disclosure, just no one really cares, but he and I kind of got into it, recently with my yearly review or whatever.
Hmm.
It's not really a year for me, but in general for everyone else, it's a yearly review, and so I'm either hoping that doesn't like make him want to bug me more, or he's just like, oh, you know what, I'll let him have some breathing room, and that'll be
So, hypothetically, what if it does become more? What are you going to do about it?
well. Then I know now, like I'll have the wherewithal to be like, hey, I get it. You said yourself you wanted to set goals and stuff, so I expect us to be able to manage this during the work week unless it's an absolute emergency. And if it
Hmm.
is an emergency, I totally understand I have to take care of it right away or something. But
Right.
otherwise,
And what about
it's hard to
saying, then
reduce.
call me?
Oh yeah, I could do that too.
Like, because personally, I know texting is so easy.
Yeah,
You could text anybody, but to actually, you know, wait for the phone to ring and have a verbal conversation with someone.
maybe he'll just naturally figure out it's not
Exactly.
worth it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I
Unfortunately,
think.
nowadays it takes more energy to actually call someone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say, "Hey, please don't text me anymore. Please call,"
Yeah,
you'll probably get less
no, that's
interaction
probably
that way.
true. I mean, I know that if I were in his shoes and my employee told me to call him if he needed anything on the weekend, I would say, no, we're good
Yeah.
because I don't like talking on the phone.
Right.
So you're right. I think that's a good idea. So, look, if you actually need to get a hold of me, please call,
Hmm.
don't text. I like to reserve my texts for fun stuff, not work stuff. But yeah, now I think I'm on a path toward it. I've been trying to. We haven't talked about this yet, or maybe we did a little bit last week. But I read that book on productivity that you bought me years ago, and I finally like went through it and read it, and have been like putting the whatever, like the practices. I guess
Mhm.
like I've been actually using like his system,
Mhm.
and so I think that's been a huge help for me this week, honestly, because I've been better about prioritizing
Mm.
and like when to do things and
Mhm.
like knocking things down. I'm hoping that if I get better at that part, I'm actually able to take care of everything during the week.
Mhm.
No one is going to even need to want to call me. And if they do, it's clearly about them, not about me. And that's okay. Like I don't know, he's paranoid about something, I don't know,
Right.
whatever. But yeah, so that's another aspect of it is me organizing my time and priorities better. Like I said, I emailed a freelancing client recently and said, hey, I wanted to set a schedule for this next month so that you know when I'm working.
Mhm.
And then she was like, okay. And her response was, to respect your time, how
Mhm.
can I get a hold of you? And then literally we just like figured it out.
Right.
And I was like, you
And that's
can,
great. That's
yeah,
great.
message me anytime on Slack, but I just won't get back to you
Mhm.
if I can't. So yeah,
That's great.
so that did work.
Um, Something else that I used to do when I was directing, um, that was a I mean, it was a lot. We had a lot going on. We were planning a wedding.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time. That was crazy. So I know when I would leave the house, I'd be in the middle of, wedding decorations or something. I would, kind of turn and like before I like left the house, just kind of like observe everything. And looking back, what I was doing is that I was kind of just like acknowledging, okay, this part of my day is done. And
I
then,
see.
you know, closing that off. And then I would literally sit in my car because I would get to the theater so early because I had to drive to Hollywood. So I'd sit in my car and I'd listen to music or something, and I would just kind of prepare myself for my next part of my day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost that I had these like rituals that I did, like when I was directing Rent, I'd listen to the song that I was about to go, rehearse
Mm-hmm.
before going in, like just like a little ritual, something. So maybe if you had that, every day before you left, you left your workout behind, you left, you know, whatever the dogs were doing when you left, whatever argument or whatever we had going on, you leave that behind when you walk out the door. You have your commute. Right before you walk into work, you have something that you tell yourself or, you know, something. And then right before you leave work, you
Mm-hmm.
have something so that you leave it there.
Yeah, I like that. Seems like it was helpful for you.
Yeah.
I could always try something like that too. I like that. I'll have to write that down.
Yeah.
So my pen doesn't work. So.
Oh, I'll use mine.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I need to just leave everything where it is. I think part of me has like this weird paranoia that if I'm not focused on everything at once, I'm gonna miss something. If that makes any sense. Like
Yes.
if I'm
I
going
know.
somewhere, if I go to work and I you know leave my workout behind or something. I don't know. That's a bad example. If if I'm doing something, if I'm out with friends or out with you, and I completely shut off work, a little part of my brain says, "Oh, well, what if you forgot something? What if you did something wrong? You should really, think about checking in on that or something." I mean, obviously, it's not real, but I think
Mhm.
that's something I kind of contend with time to
Yeah.
time.
Well, there's two schools of thought on that. There's the school of thought that, one, you don't have enough confidence in yourself and your
Mm-hmm.
abilities and the work that you've done, so that you should technically work on your confidence on that so that you're not thinking those thoughts.
Yeah.
And then the other school of thought is anytime you think that way, or you think like, oh, I might have forgotten something, let me check up on it, stop what you're doing and check up on it
Mm-hmm.
so that you can put it aside.
That's true.
Personally, from just knowing you, I don't think it's the latter. I don't think that you need to check up on it. I
Yeah, I
don't
probably
think,
don't.
no, no, I think it's you just not having that. Um, I don't want to say confidence. I said it earlier, but like that's not what I mean. But like I guess it is confidence, like in yourself, and that you have, completed a task, or you've, done
Yeah,
what you need to do.
that's true. I think, yeah, I mean, it's not to shit talk work too much because it's not like that terrible at
No.
times. It just sometimes gets to like when it's chaos,
Mhm.
no one feels good about their work there
Right.
because it's not really at times an environment where you're like reassured. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
things you
Mhm.
move pretty fast and no one's like you're doing a good job. You're only things are usually only brought up
Mhm.
when things are going poorly. So I think it's like I'm hardly ever told when things are going well that I
Mhm.
don't have that like part of my like I
Mm.
haven't been conditioned to believe it, which means I just have to do it myself.
Right. Right.
But that also feels slightly unfair.
No. I mean, yes and no.
But I
Like,
mean, just like from
it
a
sucks to
management
be right,
standpoint,
right,
that's
right.
very
But
unfair
there's
for
nothing
employees.
really that you could do about it.
That's true.
So, I mean, another one of those solutions is, coming up with like your phrase or your, or
My
whatever.
verbal command
Yeah.
request.
Yeah. We'll talk about that someday.
I know I want to talk
Um,
about that.
but something like, when things are going wrong, like, no, I have
Mm-hmm.
created X amount of revenue in the X amount of months for this position.
Yeah.
So, do you feel any better or no?
I do. I feel. Oh, our sound did that thing again. Um, and I do. I feel okay. I do feel fine. It's just unlike last week. All you had to do was hear yourself say everything you needed to say. But I actually still need to take this, which it does make me feel good that there's hope, I guess, in what we talked about because there's little things that I know I can do to improve, but I actually still have to sit down and make a real plan.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But I do feel good. I know that I'll fix it, but I just actually have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the hard part. But no, I do. And it's super helpful. And I'm sure it's helpful for anyone out there who's millions of people who feel the same way. So
Yeah.
hopefully they get something from it. But no, I feel good.
Good.
I feel good.
All right. How was your last week?
Yeah, it wasn't great. No, I actually did a lot of what I said we do. What did we say? You wrote it down last week. I didn't really write much, did I? I know that I was supposed to add to like the my like website, the blog that
Mm-hmm.
I'm developing. Really, it's a guide, but it's structured as a blog. I didn't,
Mm.
but I was also contending with everything that we were talking
That's
about
true.
here. So in place of that, I actually like found a way to structure my time with a client, and I have a lot of work to catch up on.
That's
So
good.
I was still productive, just not how we said I'd be.
That's
But
okay.
it's fine. This week,
Yeah. You have to do it this week, especially because this week, no. Yeah. This week we're going out of town.
I know. So I lose like 3 days
Yeah.
of being able to do this stuff, but gladly. I mean, we're gonna stay on the coast or whatever, so it's not like a terrible thing.
Yeah. I didn't go to the gym this week.
But
I went today.
yeah,
Today was my first day back to the gym. And I don't even know how long. I could look at my app and see. I mean, I've done like yoga and stuff here.
mm-hmm.
Um,
I don't want to say that's not a real workout. No, it is.
no,
But
it's a
like,
real
but
workout,
like
but I mean,
going
it's
and like doing
different.
like hard cardio like we
Yeah,
did today is.
like I did weights today and a little bit of cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Something I did realize is that during the week, either I'm sleeping too long or I'm not sleeping enough because I do feel like I'm waking up in the middle of a REM cycle. So I wake up tired,
Yeah.
which sucks. And this morning I didn't, and I was able to just like get up, get dressed, go to the gym within like a half hour.
So proud of you.
I know, thank you. But I did have a lot of real estate stuff to do last week. Not that that's making any excuse for not going to the gym. I just fucked up and didn't go to the gym.
Well, I think
Um,
part of it too is that it was stuff that you weren't expecting, and I don't think you ever planned for that. Like,
oh yeah.
what if I got this busy? How then would I go to the gym or do something? And that just wasn't.
Yeah, I had time.
Okay. Well, I was trying to help
I
you.
know, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to be more personally accountable.
Yeah. No.
Whatever.
We'll fix it.
But yeah.
I think we had an interesting week because it did sound like we didn't achieve the things that we set out to, but
Mhm.
we definitely, I guess, got other things out of it.
We were productive.
Yeah.
Just not in the way that we said we were going to be productive.
So
So
I don't feel guilty.
that's what I was going to say. I don't feel too bad about it.
Which is nice.
Yeah. So something that has occurred to me. I don't know how to explain this. Like we're kind of like living week to week.
Yeah.
Like we're not thinking long term. So it's like I haven't made a goal for March. And now I feel like not that March is over. It's the freaking second day. But like I almost feel like I need to make a goal for myself for April so that I'm working toward that goal all of March and into April so that I can complete that goal kind of.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you've been like doing your writing stuff. I haven't done anything for my other like goals in life, you know? I think we kind of forget about it.
Yeah. I think it's
like life almost gets in the way of
Yeah.
the things that we really want to be doing.
I think we tend to convince ourselves that we don't have enough time.
Right, and
but
we
really
totally do.
Even me, like, just because my Wi-Fi hotspot or whatever doesn't work on the bus doesn't mean I can't do something that's not internet related on my computer. It's usually always charged. So I think it's time management,
No, it's not time management. It's time choices.
Time choices.
Because you can't manage time.
I keep forgetting the term that you use for it now.
Well, just think about it. You literally cannot manage time.
No, I got it. Yeah. But you can make choices. A lot the time that's given to you.
Yeah. So this week, I'm not going to make any plans.
Okay, so you're not going to make any plans?
No.
Okay. Why?
I mean, the only thing I'm going to say is that I'm going to go to the gym 5 more times before we leave.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because I don't want to be thinking this week that this is the only thing that I have to do. I need to maybe take a step back and kind of figure out like overall more what I want and like I'm still going to try to stick to the schedule that I created a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But other than going to the gym 5 times before we leave.
I like it.
What about you?
I don't know. So we leave. Yeah, we got out of town on a Friday. So really, we just have tomorrow, or just
5 days.
Yeah, we have 5 days.
4 weekdays.
I definitely need to add to my website. That's like for sure. And like you, I wanted to go to the gym 5 more times. if only because, yeah, like then it's going to be 3 days off from the gym. And if I don't go a lot, then I feel like
Blah,
it's
blah, 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 blah.
what?
I don't know. Sometimes you just talk and I'm like, ugh.
But yeah, so I don't know. That's it though.
Okay. Cool. Done.
You got anything else? I know you don't like it when I talk, so
I didn't say I didn't like it when you talk. I said sometimes.
I believe you.
I'm good.
Maybe for you a little bit. I don't know if it helps to hear that too. We all tend to bring our baggage with us in places that it isn't appropriate.
No,
I
I'm
don't
pretty good
know.
about it.
Maybe it's helpful for Cadet, because he's always racked with anxiety and worry everywhere he is. Right, buddy? But yeah. All right. Well, in that case, meeting adjourned.
Were you about to grab my pen?
Yeah, well, because I've been using it, but I have this one here that doesn't work. So I guess in that case, get shit done, everybody. Bye.